Good evening, everyone. Good evening, commissioners, staff, our audience, live audiences, and the people watching us tonight. Welcome to the City of Cerritos Planning Commission regular meeting of October 1st, 2025. I'd like to call the meeting to order, and I would like to ask Commissioner DJ Javeri to please lead us to the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Javeri. Next, we will have a roll call, please.
Yes, thank you, Honorable Chair. At this time, I would like to take roll call. Commissioner Member Au. Thank you.
Present.
Thank you. Commissioner Member Chauhan.
Present.
Thank you. Commissioner Member Surdi.
Here.
Vice Chair Javeri.
Yes.
And Chair Reyes.
Here.
All members noted present for the record. Thank you.
Okay, next on our agenda will be public comments. On our public comment, this section is reserved for public comments on consent calendar and items not listed on the agenda, but are within the subject matter jurisdiction of the commission. Verbal comments will be limited to 3 minutes per speaker, subject to the chair extending to a maximum of 5 minutes per speaker, with a total time allotted not to exceed 45 minutes unless the chair extends. Do we have any public speakers or comments on the list? Yes. S-
Hi, my name is Mark Anthony Reese, and I'm a real estate broker here in the city of Cerritos. And I'm just looking for some clarity, Chairman Reyes, on Senate Bill 9 and as it pertains to the city. A few years ago, I went to the city with a property that was for sale, and I was told that the city was suing because they were a charter city and they would not entertain any lot splits. Recently, I listed a property at 20122 Pioneer Boulevard. It is mixed use, it's 30,000 square foot lot. And I've had clients and peers that have said that they've gone to the city and been told different things about that. I was recently driving at Artesia and Marcourt, and I saw a piece of property that has been split. It's been a lot split. And so I'm assuming that whatever was told with the city and the SB or the lot splits is no longer being entertained. So again, I'm looking for some clarity on the city and the Planning Commission's view on Senate Bill 9 and as it pertains to lot splits.
Thank you, Mr. Reese. You want to make a comment, Ms.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Staff, it will make themselves available to reach out to Mr. Reyes in relation to his question to provide further information on the inquiry he's asked in regards to the city's policy regulations on lot splits. So we will ask to get his contact information,
I have
and
it
we
here.
will be in touch.
Thank you, and thank you for your information and thank.
But just quickly, SB 9. What is the city's view on SB 9? Anybody?
SB9, do we have?
Chair, if you would like, staff is available to address questions of the Planning Commission. If it's the purview of the Planning Commission that we do address the comments, we would provide that information here to the Planning Commission rather than directly respond to the public comment.
I think if we have an update, just an update, we cannot give you, unfortunately, because we need to verify with the staff where we are, but I think an overview on where we are at this time on the SB9 litigation, if I may call it that way,
Okay.
with the city.
I'll
Okay,
provide
so,
just a sliver of information for the benefit of the commission. So generally speaking, because the gentleman is correct, because the city is a charter city, and due to recent court rulings, SB 9 does not apply here in the city of Cerritos. Staff, Associate Planner Mary Balderrama is happy to provide her contact information to Mr. Reese to provide further information outside the business of the Planning Commission.
okay, thank you, very, very good.
Thank
There's
you.
clarity, thank you.
Thank you again, Mr. Reese. Do we have any other speaker? Seeing none, I will now close the public comment section. Next is our consent calendar. 5A is the approval of the minutes. Approval of Wednesday meeting, September 3rd, 2025 minutes of the Planning Commission.
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
It has been moved by Mr. Javeri and seconded by Commissioner Chauhan. Now, do you have any discussion, any questions? Seeing none, all those in favor?
So just for the record, I'll note that the motion was made to adopt the meetings of the regular Planning Commission meeting on September 3rd by Chair or Vice Chair Javeri and second by Commissioner Chauhan. At this time, we'll activate the electronic voting. And all members of the commission can vote on this item at this time. Okay, with all votes in, the motion passes for the approval of the minutes 5-0. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. Next on our agenda is 6A, Precise Plan 2025-09, review and consideration to waive full reading of and adopt resolution of the Cerritos Planning Commission approving Precise Plan 2025-09. And we have our presentation from staff.
Yes, thank you, Chair Reyes. Agenda item number 6A, as mentioned, is a request for approval of a precise plan request by the property owners for a first floor, second floor, and garage addition to an existing two-story single-family residential home. Tonight's this item will be presented by Associate Planner Matre Anthony.
Thank you, Ms. Acuna. Good evening, Chair and members of the Planning Commission. The property owners at 17222 Stowers Avenue are requesting approval of Precise Plan 2025-9 to construct a first floor, second floor, and garage addition to an existing two-story residence. For details of the proposal, I'd like to direct your attention to the screen for a presentation. This is an aerial view of the subject property, which is zoned single-family residential RS 5000, and is generally located west of Marquardt Avenue and north of Artesia Boulevard. This is an enlarged aerial view which shows the details of the property. The property is bordered to the north, the south, and east by single-family residences on property zoned RS 5000. To the west is Stowers Avenue, a 60-foot wide residential street, across from which are additional single-family homes on properties also zoned RS 5000. This is a view of the front elevation of the existing single-family residence. The subject property currently contains conditions that do not comply with the Cerritos Municipal Code or the city's standards for residential properties. Here you can see the driveway has been extended to the south, eliminating the required 3-foot planter separation between the southern property line and the inside edge of the driveway. The landscaping in the parkway area adjacent to the south of the driveway apron has also been removed and replaced with concrete. And lastly, a walkway has been installed adjacent to the north side of the driveway without the minimum 18-inch landscape separation. Project-specific conditions of approval 42 and 43 have been added to ensure that the property is brought into compliance with the minimum front yard landscaping standards. This is the proposed site plan showing the footprint of the home. The applicants propose to construct a 333 square foot first floor addition, a 636 square foot second floor addition, and a 35 square foot garage addition. As proposed, the project will meet all setback and lot coverage requirements. This is the proposed first floor plan. When completed, the home will be remodeled to have an open concept, which will include a living room, a dining room, a kitchen, a powder room, and a bedroom with a bathroom. Also, as part of the project, a garage addition is proposed to extend the garage an additional 1.5 feet wider. This is the proposed second floor plan. When completed, the second floor will include a master bedroom with master bathroom, three additional bedrooms with bathrooms, and a laundry room. This is the adjacent neighbor plan. As shown on the plan, there's no direct alignment of windows with adjacent properties to the north or the east. The home to the south of the subject property is a 2-story residence. The second floor windows of the addition will align with the second floor windows of the homes to the south. However, the second floor windows of the subject property are bathroom windows that have obscured glass pursuant to the city standards. Therefore, any possibility of privacy issues arising from the window placement have been mitigated through the project's design. This is the proposed front elevation. The residence will be finished with a light gray colored smooth stucco and white trim. In addition, the first and second floors of the front elevation will include decorative stone veneer, which will wrap around the side of the elevations along the areas that are visibly from the public right-of-way. The front elevation will also feature a new entry porch that provides a defined entrance to the home. This is the rear elevation. The roof of the residence will be covered with a charcoal-colored lightweight concrete tile. This is the north elevation, and the windows and doors will be detailed with minimum 4-inch wide stucco trim. This is the south elevation, which features the same architectural enhancement found on the other elevations. The architect has prepared a color palette and materials board for the Planning Commission's review, which is provided to you at the dais. All exterior colors and materials will be subject to the approval of the Department of Community Development to ensure that these elements complement the entire house and the surrounding homes. This concludes the PowerPoint presentations. Staff recommends that the Planning Commission approve Precise Plan 2025-9, subject to all the conditions of approval contained in the staff report. This project is categorically exempt from the CEQA, from the California Environment and Quality Act. To date, staff has not received any comments as a result of the public hearing notice. Tonight, the designer and homeowner are in the audience. At this time, staff is available to answer any questions that the Planning Commission may have. Thank you.
Do you have any questions or comments from the commission regarding item 6 alpha? Commissioner Chauhan.
Question. This house has no chimney? Did I see it correctly?
No chimney. Good evening. My name.
Sir, after the presentation, I will ask for comments. All the questions right now are directed to the staff. So if we would need some additional information from the proposal makers, from the applicant, then we will. Sorry about that, sir. I didn't mean to interrupt or be rude. We just have to make sure we follow procedures here. Thank you for understanding.
No, there is no chimney on the home.
No. I was just looking at it. It just struck me as a little odd. So that was the. And then looking at some of our, and every time I read this, I learn something new. Only because condition 24 talks about exterior surface of precast chimney, and I noticed that it didn't have a chimney. That's what got my attention. And then landscape area, 29E, removal and or displacement of any trees with a diameter of 4 inches or more shall have written approval. Does that apply to all the homes? So if there's a tree in the front yard, we have to get permission before we can cut it?
Yes, Commissioner, I can, first, I want to clarify in relation to your first question to the chimney. So as shown in the presentation packet under the existing floor plan and the proposed, there is a proposal for a chimney, then there is currently a chimney within the existing single-family residential home. So to your point, the condition relating to the chimney would be applicable. And to your question on the removal and displacement of any trees, yes, the city's process is an application for that would be filed with the Community Development Department.
So let me correct this.
So-
Any plant that a person puts in their front yard, if it grows beyond 4 inches, then you have to come back here to get a permit to remove it.
So it's the replacement of any trees with a diameter of more than 4 inches within specifically in the public parkway would be for consideration by the Community Development Department to provide an application for the removal and the replacement. That will also be assisted by the Public Works Department to assess.
So you say it's in public right away, not on the property of the
Correct.
Okay. Otherwise, thank you.
Mr. Surti.
I was just going to add that I think it's a beautiful property, and I think it's well done, and I commend people who are going to remodel their homes in Cerritos. Okay.
Any other comment, questions? Seeing none, I would like to have a motion to approve. Public comments. If any of the applicants or anybody else in the audience would like to ask any question regarding this agenda item, they are most welcome to approach. Seeing none, I would like to get a motion to approve 6A.
I'll make a motion to approve 6A.
Second.
So
I
we
would
have a
like-
motion to approve. Oh,
Oh.
you.
I'm Seth Stoller, the architect for this project. I just want to point it out that the fireplace is electric. We're not burning.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, thank you for that.
No need for chimney.
No need for it.
We
Thank-
don't want smoke.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for that additional information. So we have a motion from Commissioner Javeri and seconded by Commissioner Au to approve precise plan 6A, precise plan 2025-09. All those in favor?
Yes, we'll go ahead and activate the electronic voting so all members of the commission can vote on this item or this motion at this time. Great. So all votes are in, and the motion passes to adopt the resolution at a vote of 5-0. Thank you.
Congratulations to the applicants and to the architect. Thank you for your time. Now we move to item 6B, WTP 2025-2, review and consideration to waive full reading of and adopt a resolution of the Cerritos Planning Commission approving wireless telecommunication permit 2025-2. Do we have a report from the staff?
Yes, thank you, Chair Reyes. As mentioned, agenda item number 6B is for a request for a new wireless facility by Verizon Wireless on an existing Southern California Edison transmission tower. Tonight's staff presentation for wireless facility, or wireless telecommunication permit 2025-2 will be provided by Associate Planner Wyman Wong, after which he and I will be made available to answer any questions that the commission may have.
Thank you, Ms. Acuna. Good evening, Chair and Cerritos Planning Commissioners. The applicant, Tectonic Engineering, on behalf of Verizon Wireless, is requesting approval to construct a new wireless telecommunication facility under Wireless Telecommunication Permit 2025-2 on an existing Southern California Edison transmission tower located at a property currently used by Cerritos Auto Square dealerships to store new vehicles inventory. For details of this project, I'd like to direct your attention to the screen for a presentation. This is an aerial photo of the subject property and location of the proposed wireless facility, which is generally located north of South Street and west of Studebaker Road. The subject property is zoned Area Development Plan 5, ADP 5. The subject property is bordered on the north, east, and west by ADP 5 dealership properties and to the south by South Street, which across are property zone open space OS in ADP 5. This is an enlarged aerial view that shows a portion of the subject property outlined in blue and the location of the proposed wireless facility circled in red. This is a view from within the property looking south at the existing Edison transmission tower on the southern end of the property, which is a location for the proposed wireless facility. This is a view of the location for the proposed wireless telecommunication facility looking northwest. This is a view of the location for the proposed wireless facility looking north. This is a proposed antenna plan. The red circles outline the locations of the remote radio units and new antennas, both of which will be mounted on the transmission tower approximately 56 feet above the ground. This is a floor plan of the proposed equipment enclosure, which will be located beneath the transmission tower in the wireless facility. As proposed, the enclosure will contain 6 supported equipment cabinets and 1 global positioning antenna, all located within the enclosure. On the left side of the screen is the north elevation. On the right side is the south elevation of the SCE transmission tower with the proposed wireless facility. Project-specific condition of approval 81 was added to ensure that the proposed equipment enclosure exterior will be constructed of decorative slump block to match other wireless facilities equipment enclosures, subject to the review and approval of the Department of Community Development. Here we have the proposed east and west elevations. The applicant has provided several photo simulations to show how the proposed wireless facility will look upon completion. The image on the left shows the existing conditions, and the image on the right shows the proposed wireless facility looking northwest. These photo simulation views are looking southeast. These photo simulation views are looking northeast. On the screen are 2 coverage maps. The map on the left shows wireless coverage without the proposed wireless facility. The light green colored areas on the map show coverage, and the light yellow and purple colored areas show weak outdoor coverage. On the right side of the screen, this map shows coverage with the proposed wireless facility. As you can see, the proposed wireless facility, indicated in the red circle, provides much needed coverage in this area. Staff and the city's wireless technical consultant have reviewed the request to install a new wireless telecommunications facility as discussed this evening and have determined that the facility is compatible with the purpose and intent of the Cerritos Wireless Ordinance and that it meets FCC guidelines for the wireless facilities. As mentioned, this is a new wireless facility, and entitlements and approval for the facility will enable Verizon Wireless to provide coverage at this location. As such, it is recommended that the Planning Commission discuss the information provided, conduct a public hearing, adopt a resolution approving the request to install the new wireless facility. This ends the PowerPoint portion of the presentation. Staff has determined that the facility is category exempt from CEQA. All property owners within 500 feet were noticed of the item. Staff received 1 public comment in support of the proposed wireless facility. This concludes my presentation. I'll be happy to answer any questions at this time, and the audience is a representative of the applicant who can also answer commissioners' questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wong. Do I have any comment, question? I'll start with
there's
Mr. Commissioner Al.
I think there's a typo. Line 3 of background should be north of South Street, right? Not south of South Street.
Yes, that is correct. It is.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's it.
All right. No, wait a minute. On the report from the third party, it says this is a new installation. So we're adding wireless, or Verizon is adding wireless to a tower that doesn't have any antenna, unlike the previous one where there's already been pre-existing one. So that's one part. On another page of that same report, let me just find it. The applicant, so this is on page 39. The applicant has submitted radio frequency electromagnetic energy compliance report prepared by EBI dated May 11, 2023. So the technology being deployed is consistent with the report prepared in 2023.
Yes, that is correct. Under page 39, which is a part of the memorandum that was prepared by the city's consultant, did assess the project in accordance with the federal regulations. And so this, the report mentioned within this memo, yes, is consistent with the current regulations by the FCC, yes.
And then the only other comment was page 63. This permit will expire in 1 year if they don't deploy or get it done. Is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. Under the conditions of approval for this entitlement, if all of the work isn't completed within that year, then yes, that's the expiration date for this entitlement if it were to be approved tonight by the commission.
And last, just a parting comment. What's that song about? Love and marriage and horse and carriage. You can't have a cell phone without towers, so that's it.
Thank you, Commissioner Chow. Just a couple questions. Did I see on the illustration that there will be a physical structure being built beneath the tower, the power line, right? The tower.
Yes, there will be. Are you referring to the enclosure, the equipment
Enclosure. It seems like
Yes.
there's a building just like before. Will there be a structure or just a fencing around it?
No, there will be an enclosure around, but then this is also in the Cerritos Auto Square inventory. So they do have they're gonna put some bollards so they know not to run into that transmission tower. That's what you're probably talking about, the fence.
So it looks like a house. I mean, there's
Yeah, it looks like a little.
little. Yes, that's it.
That is an enclosure.
Okay. Then. So my question is that SCE owns the tower, the transmission line tower. Who owns the land? Who owns that piece of property?
Edison owns the land.
Edison owns the land. So on the financial side, Verizon will have to pay Edison to affix those antennas on the transmission, and they have to pay them for the structure to rent the space. I just want to know the
Yeah,
financial
that is
aspect,
correct.
how this works. Okay. So they don't pay the city. We don't own it. We don't have anything to do with it.
No.
We are just look for make sure they are within compliance on how it looks and all the things aesthetic and
That is correct.
that's cool. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Wong. Do we have any public comments regarding this item?
I have one comment.
Oh, Mr. Commissioner Shorty.
I just have two questions. One is the tower requires constant power, and second question is there a backup system in case of an outage, right? So those are my two questions. Who pays for the power, and then is there a backup system?
So there are conditions to ensure that that the facility does have the proper power for the facility, for the antennas and the equipment. and in addition to the backup power generator in the process to come to the city for proper permits. But for that specific type of question, we can defer to the applicant or the representative by Verizon here tonight if you would like further details on that.
Okay.
So that would close out the public hearing, and those are more comment. The staff recommendation is to.
So I would.
So,
I,
oh, we need to
to the,
answer the
yeah,
question.
to the benefit of the commission, I would ask that they open back the public comment period to allow for the representative by the applicant to answer Commissioner Surtees' question. Yes.
Okay. Our representative, please come forward and if you can answer some of the questions that we have. Sure. Thank you.
Good evenings. My name is Emmanuel Higgins. I'm a representative for Tectonic Engineering, representative for Verizon Wireless. And we thank the staff and the commission for listening to our presentation. Just to address the question, Verizon will submit an application to Edison for its own meter at that location. That process is in progress right now with Edison. In terms of backup generation power, we will have backup batteries on the site. So if there's ever a power surge or cut off, there will be backup batteries available to service the site for a couple of hours.
Thank you so much. Do we have any more questions from the representative? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, so staff recommendation is to adopt the resolution of WTP 2025-2. Do we have any? Yes, Mr. Chow, Commissioner Chow.
I make a motion to approve this project.
A second.
Okay, it has been moved and seconded. Motion to approve WTP 2025-2, moved by Commissioner Chauhan and seconded by Commissioner Al.
Okay.
All those in favor?
Yes.
Can we have a vote, please?
Thank you. We'll go ahead and activate the electronic voting, and all commissioners can vote at this time. Okay, with all votes in, the motion passes 5-0. Thank you.
Congratulations again to the applicant. We now move on to agenda item 6C, DCA 2025-3. This is to review and consideration to waive full reading of and adopt a resolution of the Cerritos Planning Commission recommending that the City of Cerritos City Council approve Development Code Amendment 2025-3, a request to amend Section 22.40.730 of the Cerritos Municipal Code, removing the quantity limitation on self-storage facilities permitted in the city of Cerritos. Do we have staff report?
Yes, thank you, Chair Reyes. This last public hearing item before you tonight under agenda item number 6C comes to the commission again tonight by way of a request by the City Council for consideration of an adoption for development code amendment as it relates to self-storage facilities. This item tonight will be presented by Advanced Planning Manager Sabrina Chan.
Thank you, Ms. Acuna. Good evening, Honorable Chair and members of the Planning Commission. The item before you tonight is a request to amend Cerritos Municipal Code by way of a development code amendment related to existing quantity limitations on self-storage facilities in the city, referred to as Development Code Amendment or DCA 2025-3. As discussed by Ms. Acuna, this item is in direct response to City Council direction provided at the August 14th, 2025 City Council meeting. At this time, I would like to direct your attention to the screen for my presentation. Currently, self-storage facilities are regulated by Section 22.40.730 of the Cerritos Municipal Code, which establishes location, operation, and development regulations for these facilities. Self-storage facilities are conditionally permitted within the city's Industrial M and Industrial Commercial 2 MC2 zones with specific development standards designed to ensure compatibility with existing land uses. Existing regulations also allow for a maximum of 4 self-storage facilities that can be permitted anytime in the city. At the August 14th, 2025 City Council meeting, after a discussion regarding existing regulations governing self-storage facilities, the City Council directed staff to amend the municipal code to remove the quantity limitation in an effort to support property owners and boost economic development. There are currently 4 self-storage facilities in Cerritos serving both residents and the surrounding communities. The table on the screen provides information on each of the 4 facilities. Existing self-storage facilities in Cerritos maintain between 300 to 2,000 storage units for rent, with average occupancy rates of 90%. Storage unit sizes range from 9 square feet to 480 square feet, with rental rates ranging from $7 to $641 per month. In addition to the 4 facilities in Cerritos, staff surveyed self-storage facilities located in close proximity to Cerritos and found that on average, self-storage facilities in the vicinity housed approximately 1,500 storage units with an average occupancy rate of 90%. As directed by the City Council on August 14th, Development Code Amendment 25-3 proposes to amend the Cerritos Municipal Code by removing the current quantity limitation of 4 self-storage facilities citywide. This change will allow for additional self-storage facilities in the city, subject to the permitted zoning designations. DCA 2025-3 does not propose to amend any other development standard to ensure that self-storage facilities continue to meet the city's high design standards. Self-storage facilities would continue to be conditionally permitted within the city's industrial zones only, and therefore, sales tax generating uses and residential uses would not be displaced or impacted as a result of this proposed code amendment. It should be noted that any newly proposed self-storage facility would be subject to review by the Planning Commission and City Council through the city's standard development review process. A public hearing notice was for the proposed development code amendment was published in the Los Cerritos Community News as well as on the city's 4 designated posting boards at least 10 days prior to the public hearing. Additionally, the staff report and all exhibits were posted to the city's website in advance of tonight's meeting. The proposed revisions to the municipal code under DCA 2025-3 are consistent with the goals and objectives found within the land use and community design elements within the Cerritos General Plan, and the city will continue to preserve, promote, and protect the existing high-quality physical development that characterizes the community. DCA 2025-3 is being presented to the Planning Commission tonight for consideration, and if approved this evening, is tentatively scheduled to be presented to the City Council for consideration on October 13th. If approved by the City Council on October 13th, the proposed ordinance under DCA 2025-3 will be presented to the City Council on November 13th for a second reading and adoption, with implementation beginning December 13th, 2025. At this time, it is recommended that the Planning Commission review and discuss the proposed development code amendment and conduct a public hearing and waive full reading of and adopt a resolution recommending the City Council approve Development Code Amendment 2025-3 to remove the quantity limitation of self-storage facilities in the city of Cerritos. This concludes my presentation. To date, no public comments have been received by staff regarding this item. At this time, staff is available to answer any questions that the Commission may have. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Chan. Okay, that's a great report. Before I take any comments or questions from the commission, I would like to ask some question before. I would like to get the history of the current section of the code 2240. I mean, how did it start? Meaning that was a proponent from the staff or from a council member? How did it come about? And what was the intent or the spirit of that code? And how did it vote? Is it a 5-0 for 1-2? If you can answer those questions, please. And I think having a background of how it started, how did it come about, will give us a based information, and maybe some of the question will be answered by your presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable Chair Reyes. Absolutely. So prior to 2018, there were no regulations in the Cerritos Municipal Code for self-storage facilities specifically. Self-storage facilities were considered under warehouse uses. Around 2018, and during that time frame, the city received had experienced an increase in inquiries for self-storage facilities in the community. As a result, in 2018, there was a moratorium established because there were no regulations, and a moratorium allows the city to take a moment to pause all approval review of any application submittals of self-storage facilities, so that staff can research kind of self-storage facilities as a whole and kind of determine what are the best regulations to be implemented. So that moratorium was extended for about a year, and then after that year, so Exhibit 3 and 4 provide, in your agenda packet, provide a little information on that moratorium. And then in 2019, following that period, after staff's analysis, staff recommended amending a development code amendment at that time to establish standards specific to self-storage facilities. And that's in section 22.40.730 of the Cerritos Municipal Code. And that is what governs self-storage facilities today. The impetus was to ensure that there was a balance of uses from between self-storage facilities, commercial uses, to understand best practices. During that time, staff also conducted, research from other cities to see what other cities did, and it was determined that every city had their own regulations for self-storage facilities. There was no one direction that each city, there's no each city had different, thoughts on how they wanted to utilize self-storage facilities. And so each city then would establish regulations that, are best for their community. And so likewise, the city did so as well. So that development code amendment, if you'd allow me a minute to review the minutes from that. 2018. I believe I do not have the results, the minutes from the 2019 meeting. I apologize, with me right now. So it did get approved by council, which was a majority vote. So it did get approved, and therefore our standards do exist.
So was that a proposal by the staff from what you said, right?
Correct.
And and the intention was to balance that. Okay.
Ensure the good balance of uses for our community.
Okay, so I think that's great. Now I'll open up to our commissioners. Let me start from that and going down here from Mr. Au. Commissioner Au.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I have a couple of questions, if I may.
Go ahead.
First of all, on the page 1, of the staff report, agenda report, says that in an effort to further promote economic development, and then let's see, on page 3, in the middle, it says that these self-storage facilities will generate substantial rent income for the self-storage property owners or property or operators. And then on the next page, it says that this proposal to remove the quantity limitation is consistent with the general plan to maintain fiscal stability through revenue generating end uses. So my question is, it looks like all these statements have to do with financial benefits to the city, revenue generating. Is that true or not true that these self-storage facilities generate revenues for the city?
Thank you, Chair Commissioner Au. Self-storage facilities, the city does receive business license business license tax as a result of their operation in the city. And one of the things that that they do bring to the community is that they provide a need. They meet a need here in the community. They provide storage spaces, which is available to serve the community. So they do provide. They are required to have a business license, and that is revenue for the city. And then, I guess separately, kind of the social need of what are the needs of the community members. They can provide that service.
Okay, I take it to mean that there is no ongoing revenues generated. It's just that the business license, correct?
That yes, and then that is a annual fee that they do have to pay every year.
Okay, annual fee for the
Or annual
business
tax.
license.
Mhm.
And then regarding what you talked about, the need for the community, actually it relates to my second question. That is in the 4 facilities in Cerritos currently, is there a breakdown? Like what percentage are Cerritos residents and what percentage are out-of-towners?
Thank you, Commissioner Au. Unfortunately, the percentage of occupancy that information was not available to staff. Staff was only able to obtain from these self-storage facilities the occupancy rate of the units, and not able to share their information about each renter of a space.
Okay, my next question is in the 2018 study of policies regarding the regulations regarding self-storage facilities, there were 6 cities, including our neighbor Lakewood, that flat out prohibited self-storage facilities in their cities. Do we know the reason why?
Thank you, Commissioner Au. I will defer to our Director of Community Development, Kristen Aguila.
Hi, thank you, Commissioner Au. I'll go ahead and take this question as
Okay, thank
back
you.
in 2018, myself, along with the advanced planning team, conducted the survey of other cities. So generally speaking, the results of that survey for cities that prohibited self-storage facilities largely prohibited new self-storage facilities. It wasn't that they didn't have any existing self-storage facilities, but they, in lieu of amending their municipal code to establish a cap, a majority of them prohibited new facilities. And I would say that's in line with the assessment that the city of Cerritos made in terms of finding a balance between uses and not displacing, or efforts towards not displacing sales tax generating uses. And staff's assessment back in 2018, 2019, as Ms. Chan mentioned this evening, as part of the development standards, the city has established location criteria to allow for self-storage facilities in the industrial, the M zone, and the MC2 zone. That was established to balance those uses and to not displace or limit the displacement of commercial sales tax generating uses. And so that was found in 2018 in staff survey, that the prohibition of other cities for new self-storage facilities largely centered around just that, finding the balance of sales tax generating uses and industrial type uses such as self-storage facilities.
Thank you very much. So that means that these self-storage facilities are not sales tax generating.
They're not
businesses.
significant sales tax generators. As Ms. Chen mentioned, they generate business license revenue. Any sales tax derived from a self-storage facility largely comes with the associated moving and packing supply sales. And so while we can't say they generate no sales tax, they do generate minimal sales tax associated with packing supplies and moving boxes, et cetera, tied to the self-storage use.
So, in your view, or Ms. Chen,
Chen?
in your view, what was the reason why we had a quantity limitation in the first place?
So that's a very good question. So the quantity limitation, the cap of 4 at that time, was for a few reasons. At that time, the city did have 4 self-storage facilities, and in staff's assessment, and I don't know, I can't recall back in 2018 what the occupancy rates were back at that time, but the occupancy rates, they were lower than 90%. And so staff in our assessment of in preparing regulations felt that at that time, the self-storage needs of the Cerritos community were being met. And so it was that, and then it was again that balance of displacing existing uses, et cetera. So those two factors contributed to establishing the cap at 4.
If I may, in Exhibit E, the agenda report from February of 2019, February 28th of 2019. There's no page number, but it's
The report, Exhibit 5.
it's like one half. Exhibit, there's no exhibit number, but it's the 5th exhibit. Yeah. So on the second page of that agenda, I just read it out. The second paragraph of analysis says that as part of staff's assessment of existing regulations and potential impacts of permitting self-storage facilities in these zones, potential financial and economic impacts were considered, consistent with the recommendations of the Cerritos Economic Development Strategic Plan, allowing for the development of a new self-storage facility, the expansion of an existing self-storage facility, or the replacement of an existing commercial or industrial use to accommodate a new self-storage facility in each of the aforementioned zones may result in a potential loss of viable commercial/industrial space within the city, a loss of potential sales tax revenue, and a loss of employment opportunities in Cerritos. In addition, given that there are no existing limitations on the quantity of such facilities within these zones, there is greater potential for an over-concentration of these uses within these zones, displacing industrial uses that provide jobs and revenue for the city. Now, are these statements still true today? These are from February of 2019.
Absolutely. Thank you, Commissioner Au. So the paragraph preceding the paragraph you just read cited zones prior to the adoption of regulations to which self-storage facilities considered as a warehouse use would be permitted. Those zones included, in addition to the industrial zone, the M zone, and the MC2 zone, which were further reduced, the permitted zones or conditionally permitted zones also included the industrial commercial 1 zone, industrial commercial 2, or excuse me, the industrial commercial MC zone and area development plan 1 zone. So essentially, before development standards were established, self-storage facilities classified at that time as a warehouse use were permitted in 5 zones. And those 5 zones are a few of them, the other 3 that didn't make it into the development standards, allow for commercial sales tax revenue generating uses. And so the question about whether or not those statements still exist or still apply, those statements were made to justify limiting self-storage facilities to the M and the MC2 zone, which was established under the 2019 regulations. And so does staff worry that by allowing additional self-storage facilities in the M or MC2 zone, does staff worry about those things you mentioned? No. And the reason for that is because through the development standards of 2019, the zones which are the highest sales tax revenue and highest employment opportunities and the commercial uses are not, self-storage facilities are not permitted in those zones. And staff is not recommending this evening, nor did the council direct for this development code amendment to allow for self-storage facilities in any other zone, including the other 3 zones that they were originally approved in or permitted in.
Thank you. I understand. But the purpose of removing the quantity limitation is to enable for more additional self-storage facilities.
Correct.
Correct? So is it fair to say, I'm sorry,
Yeah,
I'll finish the last question. Is it fair to say that once we eliminate this quantity limitation, theoretically, as long as these facilities are 1,000 feet apart, we can have as many as we want. Could be 10, 20, 40, 100 of these facilities all over our city in the M and MC2 zones, correct?
It would be, you are correct, that could happen, but that would be predicated on, 1, market demand for self-storage, so I don't anticipate that we would get 40, and I would say in limiting self-storage facilities in the M and MC2 zones, the area of the city to which self-storage facilities can occupy is significantly limited. And so is it foreseeable that an additional small handful of self-storage facilities could come to Cerritos? You would be correct. That is possible by removing the cap. But, you know, you had mentioned the 1,000 square feet. There are still regulations for height and distance requirements and other development standards that would still apply, coupled with the demand for self-storage. Eventually, there won't be the demand to meet interest in establishing self-storage facilities.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Next is Commissioner Javeri.
So this was passed back in 2018, 2019. Now, which city council is requested or is requesting this amendment? It was a previous council or is the current council?
Yeah, it was at, thank you, Vice Chair Javeri. It was at this current council, as this was a request of the council on August 14th, 2025. And all 5 council members voted to direct staff to present this development code amendment to you, to the Planning Commission.
So does it mean that the city council is keen on passing this code? So regardless whether the Planning Commission says yay or nay, at the end of the day, city council is going to pass? Since they are directing it.
Thank you.
I can go ahead and answer that. So ultimately, the city council referred this matter, directed staff to prepare a development code amendment to remove the cap for the planning commission's consideration. Vice Chair Javeri and members of the commission, it is ultimately up to the commission to make a recommendation to the city council. Inevitably, this item will go to city council and it will come with either a recommendation for approval or a recommendation of denial. And the city council will, based on all of the information presented, including the recommendation of the planning commission, make their decision on the development code amendment. But in either scenario, whether it be a recommendation of approval or a recommendation of denial, it will be heard by the city council.
So based on whatever we have heard so far and read so far and understood so far, I think it not making much logical sense to open this up again. It's not that it is income generating so much other than the business license fees. And then rather have maybe some other businesses out there, or earlier we heard that we were fighting against space for low income and middle income housing. If we could have that some amendment done so that we can have the low income housing in those areas, so that we meet the state requirements, and then we don't have to worry about messing up the neighborhoods of the prime location, prime real estate, rather than just having warehouses in a disguised form of this.
With clarification for whether those locations can be considered for housing of the industrial zone areas?
Please, yeah.
Well, at this time, that's not what's being presented right now. It's for the self-storage facilities. But to answer your question, yes, there are regulations by the state to ensure that all county and cities plan for a certain number of areas for new housing growth. The city of Cerritos has met that criteria in identifying sites that were presented before the commission and the council. At that time, there were specific locations, not necessarily through the overall the zones for all industrial properties, but for specific site areas that were identified within the city's housing element. And so that item has the city's obligation under that has been met. And so as to at this time, the city is meeting its need for identifying areas for housing.
So you're telling me that the city has met the needs of the state requirements for low income?
Yes, so the city's obligation is not necessarily to develop those housing units, but to identify areas for housing development. So yes, the city has met its obligation in identifying those sites.
Okay. And just curious to know, why is the city council 5-0 unanimously voted to have this amendment? What is their incentive? Because there is no income generation. So why is the council so much keen?
Thank you, Commissioner Javeri. There was a presentation presented to the City Council at August 14th, kind of going over the history of self-storage facilities and existing facilities. There have been inquiries from, the city does receive inquiries from property owners regarding self-storage facilities. And as a result, for property owners, in support of property owners, perhaps that was the City Council, direction to staff for this.
But then again, you had mentioned that you cannot disclose who those are who will be using this facility, whether they are the residents of Cerritos or non-residents. Correct?
Yes, these are our private properties. Yeah,
right,
these are private.
right.
These are private businesses that
Right.
are owned.
So it's not helping our own city residents. So just because someone else comes from Hawaiian Gardens or Pico Rivera or elsewhere, are we going to say yes to all of them? Just because they wanted, we're going to have yes to this amendment?
I could provide additional clarification. When Ms. Chan mentioned supporting property owners, the city of Cerritos, as mentioned, does receive inquiries from industrial zoned property owners, as well as self-storage companies. And so by removing the cap, we are supporting property owners interested in reusing their properties for self-storage purposes. The differentiation between property owners for reuse of their properties versus Cerritos residents, Cerritos property owners for using the self-storage facilities. There is a demand for self-storage facilities here in Cerritos to support Cerritos property owners and to support surrounding cities. The demand, has resulted in a 90% average occupancy at all four facilities, but just wanted to provide that clarification on the property owners.
Right. So this was just a matter of discussion. One quick thing before I move, I'll let the chair take over. What is going to happen, perhaps, I'm just playing devil's advocate, is that we allow this. Now, the homeowners will remove everything from their garage, put it in this, and then rent out the garage to someone else. That's just my view. But anyways, I'm done. Thank you so much for all the clarification. Appreciate it.
Thank you for that input, Commissioner Johari. Commissioner Chauhan?
Commissioner Howe, I think we must have been reading the same paragraphs over and over again. So just for clarification, the same financial aspect. What would bring in greater revenue to the city? Storage, retail, wholesale, manufacturing. Is there any sort of an idea that you can provide to us about the relative income that could be when you use these properties?
Thank you, Commissioner Chauhan. So the city's, I guess the revenue source for the city is largely based on sales tax revenue. And so to answer your question, what the city benefits most from are sales tax generating uses. So those sales tax generating uses are not necessarily in our industrial MC2 zone, but in our commercial and retail zones, such as the mall, Auto Square, et cetera. But what benefits the city most are sales tax generating uses.
Okay. From the report, it's clear that there is a definitely need. We would never know who the uses are. It's just like a motel. You can't ask who used the motel room, but the data that's cited is from 2018. There has been no new data. Yeah.
That is it
Is
for
it?
specific for the chart
Yes.
in the agenda report? That information was actually taken this as staff was preparing this specific agenda report for the chart on the table 1. Were you talking about table 1?
Now, this
In the agenda
report actually does spell out the history of how this came about, which was at one time, the economic activity prior to the pandemic was far different than it is now. So I did listen to the conversation of the council. The way I heard it, I'm just going to paraphrase it. They said it was a self-imposed limit of economic opportunity. Their words, not mine. So I wholly agree free market should rule the system. But however, as a city that relies on sales tax, it is prudent that we use some common sense in utilizing space. And I'm sorry that this report doesn't have page numbers on it like you do for other stuff. So request in the future, just PDF, give us page numbers, and then we'd be able to go to the right page without. But in the middle of your packet, it has these little blue sections, and it's really a section about different cities and the ordinance that they had. So a couple of them struck me. One of the limitations that we put is that no facility should be less than 1 acre. Why? Why not have it smaller? Just an observation, okay? From Santa Fe Springs, they limit theirs to 3 acres. Westminster limits it to 2.5 acres. My request would be that, is there any way to change this report to say, we limit the size of those plots for the simple reason that if you have a bigger facility, perhaps there's a better use for it. So I see a lower and an upper limit. If doing so, would that delay this report, or can that be included as a suggestion to the council?
Yes, Commissioner Chauhan. Yes, it's if a majority vote by the commission, that request can be added as part of the agenda report that's presented before the City Council by recommendation of the Planning Commission.
And the conditions are on, so I noticed it says kind of that they're going to be kept the same. So probably about 4 pages from the back of your report, it actually has, it has criteria to a self-storage facility shall be permitted only as a conditional. So I think we're only removing clause B of that condition. This is why it's so difficult to find that page.
My apologies. We will have
yeah.
page numbers.
So this
for-
would be on Exhibit 11, page over.
Where's that at?
So it says over the page, 2 criteria. So in this report, were you asked only to remove condition 2B?
That is correct, yes.
The only other suggestion that I wrote over here is that, can we ask storage facilities for any disclosure of any hazardous material or chemicals or fireworks or explosives so that we don't have any incidents in our city?
So for that question, we'll defer to Assistant City Attorney Patel.
So just clarification, disclosure from the people renting the individual facilities or from the self-storage
from the storage
owner?
owners, how can we get assurance that those sort of products are not being stored?
Yeah, so I am not familiar off the top of my head as to the city's ability and what state law says about requiring that type of disclosure by the property owner, but that's something we can definitely look into.
So
We want to explore.
that would be my concern. Otherwise, I have no other question. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Chauhan. Commissioner Surti.
I have 3 questions, right? One is, I want to know, are there any pending applications for more self-storage?
Thank you, Commissioner Surti. At this time, the city does not have any applications for self-storage facilities.
Okay, and my second question is that the other 4 self-storage companies, are they all owned by different owners or one owner?
Thank you. All 4 self-storage facilities are different property owners or different owners.
Okay, and my third question is that, does the city limit any other businesses in City of Cerritos? Like, I know, especially in industrial areas, I know we're talking, I'm not talking about like, vape shops and these type of things, but any other kind of businesses that, is there any other regulations of any other businesses like industrial type businesses?
Thank you, Commissioner Surti. In terms of limiting other industrial or any businesses, the only limitation we have for other businesses is the prohibition. You had mentioned, or for example, marijuana establishments are prohibited. The sale of vape is prohibited. So any other limitation is just merely the prohibition of particular uses, specific uses.
Okay, so I just want to clarify. So this ordinance is mainly meant, it's like a hypothetical in some ways. It's clearing the fact that we can have more self-storage, but there's no like pending demand for it. There's no, it's just lifting the regulations. So that's what we're voting on.
If I may provide clarification, the city of Cerritos doesn't currently have any applications for self-storage facilities because the cap has already been met. And so any inquiries or applications for self-storage facilities would be immediately denied because under the existing regulations, there is a cap of 4 and there are 4 facilities in Cerritos. And so that is why we don't have any applications for existing facilities today.
How many vacancies are there in the industrial zone? Is that pretty high, pretty low? What's
Thank you, Commissioner Surdy. So historically, the city is very fortunate to have low vacancy rates in our industrial use areas. Currently, the vacancy rate averages about 6%. And one thing about these industrial uses, when there is one vacancy, because the properties are quite large, that vacancy percentage, it's might be seen a little higher, but it is currently averaging at about 6% right now.
okay? Thank you.
Let me go back here and go back this way. Is it for Commissioner Surti? Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
So as you all mentioned that because you all had 4 already, you have not entertained any other applicants. So when you say you have not entertained any, does it mean that you have rejected number of applications, or did you have any inquiries or rejections in last 1 year?
The city of Cerritos has received inquiries for whether or not additional self-storage facilities can locate to the city of Cerritos. No applications because upon receipt of those inquiries, it was communicated to those applicants and to those property owners that no additional self-storage facilities could be conditionally permitted under the existing regulations. But yes, inquiries have been received in the last year.
Would there be any idea how many inquiries that we received in the last 1 year?
I would say that I've probably taken 5 calls related to self-storage facilities in the last year.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Javeri. Commissioner Chauhan.
Follow back on space. How many of our spaces fall into that category of 1 to 2 acres of land, or do we have properties that are 4 acres or more? Do we know the size of these lots by any chance?
Thank you, Commissioner Chauhan. Unfortunately, off the top of my head, I do not know the size of the parcels in the industrial and MC2 zones off the top of my head.
Thank you.
No more comments, question for Commissioner. I have a couple questions. How many establishments do we have in the city of Cerritos that are non-tax generating, but you believe is vital to the city? Is a gym tax generating facility?
Gyms provide sales tax in equipment and products sold at the gyms, but generally speaking, the service-based uses, sales tax is derived from the sale of goods at those establishments.
So mostly gyms, really, it's just like self-storage facility. Barbershops, are they tax generating?
The same would apply, the sale of hair products
and
or
stuff.
et cetera, the sale of goods at those service-based businesses.
So there are establishments that are non-tax generating that is needed in the city. That has to be, and like I think Commissioner Sorti said, at this time, it's only the self-storage community or industry that has limits. We do not limit the number of gyms that can put up in the city, the numbers of restaurants that can be put up in the city. We don't have any limits except for, from what from what I'm hearing and understanding, is that it's only targeting the self-storage community. Okay, so to me that's a concern. I understand Mr. Jahan said that let the market dictates, and to single out a type of industry and saying the city council, the citizens of Cerritos is limiting one type of industry, and the growth. Yeah, that's kind of it. I don't think it projects the ethos of what Cerritos wants to be. And we talk about, hey, does the citizens have the demand for these services? If we think about just our own Cerritos people patronizing or meeting their needs, then if the people in the neighboring district said, you know what, Cerritos only deals with Cerritos, I'm not going to eat in Cerritos anymore. And I don't think the establishment in our city will survive if they just, the Auto Square is the number one Auto Square because we invite everybody in our community. We service the needs of all the people in Southern California, even when they're in Inland Empire, they come here. They go to our malls, they go to our restaurants, they go to our Auto Square, like I said, number one. And the business-friendly aspect of Cerritos is what we are known. We need to have that. And for competition, if I have only one or two, storage facility in my community, then they can dictate where I have to go to Norwalk to go to a storage facility because there's none in Cerritos. And it's more expensive in Cerritos because there's only 4. So I understand what the city council wants to do. And looking into the economics and the free enterprise and what I believe Cerritos is all about, I would like the commissioner to think about this. We are thinking of services to our community. We are talking about what does this mean? How are we projecting our city to the business community? Are we the business-friendly type community? Are we the ones saying, you know what, you are welcome here. We will do whatever we can, and if they believe that they will gamble and put the 5th, the 6th, the 7th storage facility, and if it's not economically feasible, that's their gamble to that industry. And I'm going to stop them from that. But what I'm just asking is, let's think about this. It's more. We are here for the citizens of Cerritos, but the service is what we need. If they come here in a storage facility and they work there for 2-3 hours, they're gonna eat here. They're gonna go to a restaurant. They're gonna put gas in our. I mean, it's not guaranteed, but it's another attraction of the things that they will visit Cerritos. It opens up other business opportunities because that's an enhanced services that we have. And if I love Cerritos, if I'm from outside town, I love eating here, I love going here, and I need a storage facility. I might as well patronize Cerritos because this is my favorite place. This is where I buy my car. This is where I go to the mall. This is where my hair salon is. And now, more choices for a public storage facility. And as a business-friendly city, I think that's what we're known for. Good education, good services, good staff, and I again just want to have the commissioner think about, what does it look like, what will the future, and what's the message we're sending to our community, and that's all. Commissioner,
I just want to add, so if another self-storage facility, if we approve this resolution tonight, okay, and we open up to 4 to 5, 6, 7, 8, 900, whatever, right? So is there do we have the right, if another, say if a applicant comes in and says, we want to open another self-storage facility here, right? Do we as a commission say, no, we can't, we don't want that? We have that right or no?
Thank you, Commissioner Surdy. So if there's a newly proposed self-storage facility, they would be required to be present their project before the Planning Commission at that time to be reviewed in conformance with the Cerritos Municipal Code.
Yes. So they would be subject to a conditional use permit that would be presented before the Planning Commission, where they will have to show, and staff will prepare a presentation and a report to show whether that proposal would meet the findings for an approval for a conditional use permit and meeting the development standards.
So basically, if everything looks good, everything meets your needs and your requirements, you will say yes.
So the conditional use permit is to the authority of the commission. If the findings can be met, then yes, the project can be proposed
Right, but
for
we
adoption.
cannot be discriminatory
That's
and say
correct.
no.
If they meet,
Though there is a code that permits, we can say no. You will not be permitted, right?
yes, unless there's findings to show that the project is not meeting the minimum requirements, then correct, the commission wouldn't have and the city wouldn't have the authority to deny it.
Correct. But as I said, if they meet the requirements exactly as per what the city code is, city guidelines, city's requirements, we cannot say no because it will be discrimination.
Yes, that's the intent for the development standards, to allow for consistency in assessment of these facilities. Mhm.
Correct. Thank you.
Commissioner Rao?
Regarding what Chair Reyes said earlier, I'd still like to bring everybody's attention to the part of the resolution, part of the agenda report 6 years ago in 2019, and especially the last statement. The city council at the time, they were concerned about an over concentration of these self-storage facilities that will displace industrial or commercial uses that will provide jobs and generate revenues. Now, there's a difference between businesses are different. Some businesses provide jobs, like gyms, barbershops. They provide jobs, and they provide sales and revenue. And self-storage facilities, I'm sorry, they don't. And that's a big difference. And I think the city council at the time, they were not dumb. They made the decision. And today, unless these conditions have changed, unless we disagree with the decision of the city council 6 years ago, I can't in good conscience vote yes on this. Sorry.
Just want to clarify that study was made, like you said, before we reduced the number of locations that they can apply, right? That's why, ergo, the fear of over-concentration, because they can apply in 5 areas as opposed to 2 now, right? MC1 and MC2, right? So we have restricted where they can grow based on the new, and we are not asking to do that. Okay. I understand. To me, it's really, I'm really protective of the image of Cerritos when it comes to business community. Because one thing that keeps coming back to my mind is, if you do not generate sales tax, you're not welcome in the city of Cerritos. Is that my message? And that's just what I'm going to ask. That's just going to, because that's the bottom line is is, they're not sales tax revenue generator. They're not, and that's just I'm not, that's all, that's, to me, that's what I'm hearing. That's all that's I'm hearing. So, let me just, but
Yeah.
Commissioner Sir.
Okay,
Javeri.
I think I know we're prolonging this, and this has been a long discussion, but I think, even though I don't think self-storage is an ideal thing for the city of Cerritos, I think it's completely like, it's a bad use of land. Okay, and bad. But I also view this making Cerritos City of Cerritos a business-friendly city. That's what it just comes down to. But even though I think these type of units are not going to create jobs, not going to create tax revenue, but in the end, I think this is really, or either a lack of a better term, right, the self-determination for a business to exist. So the city of Cerritos is a business-friendly city or not. So that's how I view this issue. But anyhow, that's my last statement.
Commissioner Au.
I think our job is to make sure that the agenda items before us conform to this general plan of the city. And our city's general plan, there are priorities. Yes, we are pro-business, but doesn't mean that we don't have priorities. What are our priorities? We want to increase housing, number one. Several of my colleagues have talked about it. We want to pursue economic revenues for the city. Right now, we do have a deficit budget, and so the city is not really, swimming in money. So we do have to make some hard choices. It's not like everybody who comes in wants to do business, so we say yes. We have to make some, decisions. So that's my response.
Commissioner Javeri? Yes, Commissioner Chauhan.
So I stand by, in order to meet both the criteria of free market and to protect the properties, I still go back to my prior statement that we create a set of conditions that limit the size of these properties to I don't know what the data is. I don't know if the data is 1 to 2 acres, 1 to 3 acres. Find some boundaries of space. And by creating those criteria, you will limit the number of opportunities for storage while still preserving our biggest properties for more tax generating. That's the only compromise I can come up with. Thank you.
I think it was mentioned that in order to do that, we have to have a motion. If the commission, am I correct that if the commission wants to pursue what you are recommending, that there will be a motion and it has to be duly seconded and voted unanimously to for it to move forward. So do I have a motion?
So let me make a motion. I make a motion that we approve this report conditionally with recommendation to the city council that they define some geographic boundaries for the self-storage, not geographic, parcel size boundaries. Because I can't define the size.
Will that pass the legal test?
If I may, for clarification, so, Commissioner Chauhan, your motion is to approve staff's recommendation today to adopt a resolution of the Planning Commission recommending that the City Council approve the Development Code Amendment before you today, but that the City Council do an assessment of the minimum parcel size or minimum and maximum outside of the minimum that is currently established under the code, establish a maximum parcel size to which self-storage facilities within those two zones can occupy. Okay?
Before the motion is made, I'm going to have to ask you to withdraw that motion. We're going to need to open it up for a public hearing, close the public hearing, and then I'll ask you to make the motion again, if the discussion is done among the commissioners.
Thank you for reminding us that we do have an obligation to call for a public hearing on this motion. So now the floor is now open for a public hearing. Seeing none, I will now move to close the public hearing. Thank you very much. Now, Commissioner Chauhan, could you make that motion again, please?
Yeah, if I could remember it. No.
Or we can have the staff read it for you and then you
So,
can agree.
yes, let me try and remember it. So I make a motion to approve the staff report with conditions that the city council define a minimum and maximum size of lots that can be considered for self-storage facilities.
For,
Are you agreeing to open this and have additional?
I don't know if we're out of order because we have to second it first and then we can move to discussion. Yeah, but we need to have the discussion part of. First, it will be seconded, and if there, or can we have the discussion without a second?
If I may, Chair, it would be appropriate for a member of the commission to
clarify.
ask for clarification of the maker of the motion's motion.
Okay, Mr. Rajaveri.
So what I'm asking for is the approval of this report, which thereby frees the city to permit additional storage. However, I am keenly aware of the economic opportunity. So therefore, I would want to protect our largest parcels of land for other uses by defining a minimum and maximum. That in itself will define a certain set of properties that are available. And then in addition to 1,000, that will limit the number of possible people that could even apply for self-storage.
So if I may understand correctly, this is just between us.
it's being recorded.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So if I may understand correctly, you are saying okay to this as long as there is some maximum and minimum. But would that mean that the city council would come back to you with that maximum and minimum? And if that is okay with the planning commission, then you would approve it? Is that how it is?
So if I can assist in providing clarification, so if motion tonight by the commission would be to adopt this resolution, making a recommendation that for the adoption of the development code amendment as it's been prepared tonight before the commission, with the requests by the commission to include in the agenda report that's prepared before the council a consideration, an assessment of the potential standards for minimum and maximum lot size for self-storage facilities.
And then in addition to that, if the city council were to, in considering the removing of the quantity limitation as recommended by, if it passes this evening, if the city council was interested in, let's just say hypothetically, establishing, I don't know, maximum 3 acres, that would not have to come back to the planning commission. The city council can make amendments to the municipal code right then and there at the city council meeting through the adoption of an ordinance.
So again, as I understand, regardless of whatever the recommendation is done for to establish a minimum and maximum, the city council can say yay or nay to that, or can come up with something, anything different, whatever they like. So in other words, that condition is in reality between us is it's no condition. Basically, you're okaying it.
No, but it is a recommendation. And if,
Yeah,
we,
it's
if we say it,
again, it's a recommendation, but that means we are saying okay.
yes.
Thank you.
Okay, I would need a second for that motion of Mr. Chauhan that we approve the motion with condition of limiting the number of acreage, or that is it that what is the number of, is that could you read the motion, please?
Okay. Since right now Commissioner Chauhan has made a motion to adopt a resolution recommending that the City Council approve the Development Code Amendment as under 2025-3 as prepared tonight, with the recommendation by the Planning Commission to consider a addition for considering minimum and maximum property sizes for self-storage facilities.
Okay, having read and moved, do I have a second? Seeing none, motion failed. Now we have to vote on Section 6C, DCA 2025-3. I need a motion to approve. Staff recommendation.
If I may, Chair, at this time, it'd be appropriate to entertain
Any
any
discussion?
subsequent motions.
Or is there any other motion on top of what Mr. Chauhan has given us prior to considering the motion before us, 6C DCA 2025-3?
Yes, you can make that motion.
So I would like to make a motion to reject 6C DCA 2025-3.
I'll go ahead and provide clarification. So if Vice Chair Javeri, you are going to make a motion to reject the action before you today, it would essentially be a motion recommending that the Planning Commission recommend denial of Development Code Amendment 2025-3. I think that was your intention, but.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
I will provide just a brief clarification on process for that. Because the agenda report for 6C today includes a resolution of the Planning Commission recommending approval, we don't have this evening or prepared as part of the agenda packet a resolution recommending denial. If the Planning Commission were to tonight recommend denial by the City Council, that item would have to come back to the Planning Commission with the associated resolution recommending denial at next month's meeting.
So rather than coming back again at the next meeting, can we just reject rather than making a resolution to reject?
Let me ask a clarifying question. A no vote on this is a denial, correct? If the council vote no on this, we are sending it to the council saying the Planning Commission voted whatever no, and is that a denial or it's not a denial?
So under the municipal code, any amendment to the municipal code requires either a resolution of the Planning Commission recommending approval of that amendment or a resolution recommending denial of that amendment. So the Cerritos Municipal Code does require an adoption of a resolution, whether it be approval or for denial. So in any scenario, an action has to be taken by the City Council, by the Planning Commission, and no action on tonight's meeting staff would seek additional direction from the Planning Commission for the eventual adoption of a resolution.
So if we bring this back for the next meeting, would we have to again discuss this all over again?
If we bring it back for the next meeting, and this has happened before.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm asking.
If we bring this back to a subsequent meeting, there would need to be an agenda material with a resolution for the Planning Commission's consideration of the findings for the recommendation of denial. And so if this evening a recommendation, or really if this evening a motion is made and second and there's a majority of the Planning Commission who directs staff to come back with a resolution for denial, staff would seek specific findings or reasons or justifications for the Planning Commission making that recommendation of denial so that those findings can be included in that resolution.
Right. So again, my intent is that we do not want to come back again next meeting and then go through the same thing all over again and waste everyone's precious time.
Unfortunately, it would have to be a publicly noticed item because it is an amendment. It's just a different recommendation. Now, ultimately, the Planning Commission can choose to make no comments. The chair would need to open it up for public comment because it would be a public hearing item.
So can I ask you something? why can't we at the same time have a alternative resolution so that we can pass this? If this doesn't pass, then we have this.
Thank you, Vice Chair Javeri. So staff did not bring forth today as part of the agenda materials for 6C a resolution recommending denial, as this item was specifically directed by the City Council. And so ultimately, I hear you that it is the decision of the commission to make their recommendation one way or another. Staff's in the City Council, or excuse me, in the Planning Commission agenda report, staff, after an assessment of all facts, direction, findings, et cetera, staff makes a recommendation. And tonight's staff's recommendation was to have the Planning Commission recommend approval by the City Council. As I mentioned, we've been through this scenario again, but it is difficult to make findings for both a recommendation of approval and a recommendation of denial for all agenda items, because we're essentially contradicting ourselves, right? And so staff, in alignment with the city manager's office, makes recommendations, a staff recommendation based on the facts as we staff know it, and the information afforded to staff. Ultimately, again, the Planning Commission, you are the recommending body, and so whether that be a recommendation of approval or denial, that is at your purview, but that is why we don't come forth with two resolutions that would contradict each other.
So I get that, totally get that. But for regular things like a home, remodeling, new homes, new constructions, that's all given. Yeah, we don't need to have alternative. But when we have such controversial thing, which was closed once upon a time, now we are reopening, and all of those, chances are that it could go either way, right? So in such scenario, I think in future we should have that rather than come back another day and then again start all over again.
Thank you, Vice Chair, and that's a good point, and it's well taken. The only thing I will advise from a legal perspective is when you're making a recommendation of denial, there's a lot more legal sensitivity asked to that decision because there may be appeals involved and other things. And so typically we would want the commissioners to discuss among themselves the very specific reasons as to why they're denying it, so we can include it in our findings. In the off chance that there is litigation or other sensitive matters like appeals that come up, we can point to those specific findings, specific discussions, and things like that, especially if it's a controversial item.
Right, but again, this was not a public issue. This was only a recommendation by the City Council, right? So City Council, if it was general public sitting here and we had that alternative thing, that's a different story. But this is only a City Council decision to come back with this issue.
Yeah, I guess it's to err on the side of caution.
Thank you.
Okay, I have a speakers list here, and if you want to speak, just let me know, because right now I have Commissioner Surti and Commissioner Al, so I'll make sure we are going in order here. Okay, I'll call on Commissioner Surti, please.
Actually, I want to get Kirit's motion back so we can vote on that again.
Okay, before I go to motion, I would like to acknowledge Commissioner Al.
We would need to make a new motion.
Yeah, so my question actually is related to Commissioner Surti's suggestion. If, let's say, someone moves to approve this, and is seconded, and then we vote, and a majority vote no on this, what does that mean? It doesn't mean it's a recommendation of denial, right? It simply means that we as a commission, we do not recommend approving of that. Is that, we're getting into semantics.
So if I may, the authority of the Planning Commission, the role of the Planning Commission is to make a recommendation to the City Council. The Cerritos Municipal Code requires that the commission adopt a resolution making a recommendation. So hypothetically, if somebody makes a motion to approve and that motion fails, staff would call for a motion for denial. In either scenario, staff would call for a motion of the Planning Commission directing staff to come back with a resolution of denial. In any scenario, because this is a proposed amendment to the Cerritos Municipal Code, your role of the Planning Commission is to make a recommendation to the City Council for their consideration, whether it be a recommendation of approval or denial.
So either
So we
way,
need a recommendation for this agenda item.
so either way, if we don't approve it, then we'll still have to come back for
For consideration of a resolution of denial
okay.
or recommending denial.
Thank you.
Yep. Thank you.
Okay, do you have any more comment, questions? So we now have before us item 6C, DCA 2025-3. It is staff recommendation to review and consideration to waive full reading of and adopt resolution of the Cerritos Planning Commission recommending that the Cerritos City Council approve Development Code Amendment 2025-3, a request to amend Section 22.40730 of the Cerritos Municipal Code, removing the quantity limitation on self-storage facilities permitted in the city of Cerritos. Do you have a motion? Yes. We have a motion by Commissioner Surtee. Second. I will be seconding this motion.
Can we just get clarification what the motion is, Commissioner Surtee?
Oh, good motion, yes.
The motion to approve.
Mike.
The motion to approve, to lift the restriction from 4 storage facilities to whatever.
And I second that motion.
Okay. Thank you. Yes, the motion was made by Commissioner Surtee and second by Chair Reyes. At this time, staff will initiate the electronic voting for all commissioners to vote on this motion. So we are waiting on one last commissioner's vote on the motion. There we go. Thank you. So the motion fails as a vote of 2-3.
Thank you. Motion failed. Next is
If I may, Chair,
Go ahead.
as discussed, because that motion failed by majority of the Planning Commission, would it be therefore the recommendation by way of a motion and a second to direct staff to bring forth at the next regular scheduled meeting of the Planning Commission a resolution of the Planning Commission recommending that the City Council deny Development Code Amendment 2025-3?
do we have a motion for that denial?
My
For
question-
that direction.
For that direction. Direction to direct staff to come with a proposal for a motion to deny.
Can I go back to my
resolution.
previous motion? Or is it too late?
A new motion would have to be made. We can't reconsider your motion from 2 motions ago. You'd have to make a new motion.
The answer is no.
We can't reconsider your first motion.
Okay, so now we have a motion to direct staff to prepare a denial. Is that what the motion would be for the next meeting?
The motion would be to direct staff to prepare a resolution of denial, recommending denial.
So I'm making a motion for the staff to recommend a denial of this code.
To bring back a resolution.
Right.
Okay.
I second.
So we move and seconded, moved by Commissioner Javeri and seconded by Commissioner Al. Any discussion?
Is this where we
Yes.
can put add-ons or not?
If a commissioner wanted to add on to the motion, he would have to ask the maker of the motion to make a friendly amendment to his motion. He would have to agree to make an amendment to his motion.
So therefore, I make a friendly motion that I go back to my original statement that we limit the size, the minimum and maximum parcel size of lots to be considered for.
Okay, so
Understood.
since
Thank
the
you.
maker of the motion does not agree to the friendly amendment, we have a motion and a second. So at this time, we will activate the electronic voting.
So when I say deny motion, I should say yes.
Yes, if you're in favor of staff bringing back a resolution of denial, you would vote yes. If you are not in favor of us bringing back a resolution recommending denial, then you would vote no.
Can I have a clarification before the vote? I already voted, but how do I? What does this mean? What does this mean? This vote that we're.
So a motion was made and a second to direct staff to come back at the November 5th Planning Commission meeting with a resolution of the Planning Commission recommending that the City Council deny Development Code Amendment 2025-3. So essentially recommending that the City Council does not remove the quantity limitation on self-storage facilities by way of the Development Code Amendment.
Okay, and this is a process, and this has to be done.
The City Council directed staff to prepare this amendment as a recommending body to the City Council. The City Council, and because it's an amendment to the municipal code, the City Council needs a recommendation from the Planning Commission either to approve or deny the Development Code Amendment.
So the vote that the motion failed today, would that be brought to the City Council meeting, the next meeting, that we have failed, the motion failed?
The prior motion
The prior
and
motion,
second,
yes.
no, that would not be brought to the City Council.
So a denial will be brought to the City Council.
There is a motion and a second that staff prepare a resolution of the Planning Commission recommending that the City Council deny the Development Code Amendment. So I'll say it. I'll say it one more time so everybody there's no questions. So the motion was to direct staff to come back with a resolution of denial, recommending denial. If you vote yes, you are agreeing that staff should go back and prepare a resolution of the Planning Commission recommending that the City Council deny. A no vote means that you don't want staff to go back and bring forth a recommendation of denial, recommending that the City Council deny.
So what would that do? Where would the council be if there's no recommendation?
It would, in essence, function as a denial. The planning
that's what I'm
commission,
saying.
the planning commission would have to make an approval or a denial.
Right.
There's no abstention or there's nothing in the middle.
So what I'm saying, but we have to have a denial before they can move with this? Does the council, before they can agendize this item?
Correct. The planning commission would have to make a formal recommendation approving or denying.
So we are holding this up. What's happening is that we have to wait. The council has to wait until November before they can act on this action, this item.
That's my understanding, correct.
Okay, understand. Thank you. Commissioner Surtee.
Can Kirit reintroduce his motion? No, okay. All right.
We currently have a motion on the floor, so we have to proceed with the vote of the motion made by Vice Chair Javeri and seconded by Commissioner Al. If I can check with members of the commission, are we ready to vote on the motion on the table right now?
I think we are.
Okay, so electronic voting is active. Motion fails by a vote of 2-3. At this time, if I may request that the chair call a brief recess so that a consultation with the city attorney can be had.
Gladly. No.
Absolutely not.
The regular meeting, the regular planning commission meeting will now go on recess for about 10 minutes.
Thank you.
Or come back earlier.
Thank you.
Okay, like to call the meeting back to order of the City of Cerritos Planning Commission meeting on Wednesday, October 1st, 2025. Back in session. Okay, staff, is there any report?
Yes, Chair, thank you. So because there was a failure to approve the recommendation by the Planning Commission and there was a failure to recommend denial, the inaction, meaning no approval or no denial, will now be reported to the City Council. And the City Council will make a decision as to what they want to do based on that recommendation that's made.
So it's like a hot potato. We're putting,
To a certain extent,
pushing the
yes.
ball up. Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. Okay. And so that ends the 6C DCA 2025-3.
So it's not going to come back to us next meeting.
It could come back to you next meeting if the City Council calls for it to come back to you next meeting, which they very well could under the municipal code.
Okay. Thank you.
Any more questions, comments? Having none, so we move on. Item number 7A. It's the commercial industrial lighting and signage requirement. The proposal is review and consideration of a commissioner's request to discuss existing Cerritos Municipal Code regulations pertaining to lighting and signage requirement for commercial and industrial zone properties pursuant to the City of Cerritos Commission and Committee Scope of Authority Policy 6.02. Report from staff.
Okay. Yes, thank you, Chair Reyes. Agenda item number 7A, yes, is a follow-up request made by Commissioner Chauhan at the regular meeting of the Planning Commission on September 3rd of this year to review and possibly amend development standards for lighting and signage regulations on commercial and industrial properties. Tonight, I'll provide an overview of the current regulations. So as it relates to signs, currently signs within commercial and industrial zone properties are governed under Chapter 22.48 of the Cerritos Municipal Code. And in accordance with such regulations, allows for commercial and industrial businesses to display various types of signage. This includes wall-mounted business identification signs, planter signs or monument signs, temporary signs, and as well as window signage. Signage regulations under this chapter have been established over the years with careful consideration to ensure the conformance of the zoning code along with the long-term goals and policies of the city's general plan. In addition to the municipal code, the city encourages the use of master sign programs for commercial and industrial properties when feasible. These programs, which have already been established for many commercial and industrial properties throughout the city, provide a greater flexibility, promote creative design, and help maintain a cohesive visual identity across developments. Over the years, the city has built strong partnerships with property owners to achieve this high-quality signage design within these sign programs and continues to review and update them as needed. Together with the regulations governed by the signage under the city's municipal code, as well as master sign programs, and as well as in cases through the precise plan process, all collectively to ensure that the city's regulations on sign are consistent with the general plan and are held to a high standard, again, for design standards. As it relates to lighting design for commercial and zone properties, these regulations are addressed through the precise plan process as well, which assesses not only the lighting in a sense of safety, but also in a sense, again, as aesthetics and visual consistency. So both lighting and signage are reviewed through the city's design review process with staff and at times through the precise plan process. So as outlined in tonight's agenda report, the Planning Commission does not necessarily have the authority to establish the city's policies or allocate city resources for special projects such as taking amendments from the municipal code. So if the commission wishes to pursue an amendment, a formal request will need to be sent to the city council. This referral would include considerations of the costs associated in regards to retaining professional services for any necessary analysis needed under this proposed amendment, including an environmental assessment, which could range from anywhere between $5,000 to $100,000, depending on the level of analysis needed. So tonight, before you is a consideration, is as a request by the commission at the last city planning commission meeting, is this report for their consideration. So at this time, this ends staff's report and be willing to answer any questions that you may have.
Thank you, Amanda. Ms. Acuna. Commissioner Chauhan?
Do we have to make a decision today? Can this be an ongoing discussion for 1-2 meetings?
So, yes, the commission can continue this discussion if they would like to agendize. So at the last planning commission meeting, this was brought up as it was not part of that agenda. It was not able for any type of discussion at that time. At this time, it has been made part of the agenda. It is the commission's decision if they would like to continue this matter to another meeting. We would ask that you do so, so the proper noticing of this meeting can be brought forward to the next.
So, colleagues, the reason I'm saying that is that there's a lot in here and there are a lot of implication. The primary driver for this discussion is about economic advantage for our businesses. For me, the priority is that signage leads to more customers going to our stores. That is the number one driver. Also, when reading this, some of these rules were enacted long time ago, and you can see that in the type of language. And further reading, it really does beg a question about what signs, what rules we have, what rules we enforce. You know, rules are important and needed, but they also need to be reasonable and enforceable. Rules that are not enforceable are not rules. So some portions of this needs to be amended. I'm not asking for wholesale change at all. The areas identified are important. But in light of how government rules are followed upon, we have to be very precise what we say goes into it. Because right now, if something is written and there's a rule and you violate it, there's a consequence. There are some really rules in here that probably should not be in this document. So I don't know how to proceed. Do we go with page 1, 2, and 3 and then discuss, or? Yes, well, absolutely. So I don't want this to be a rushed decision where you just, rather a discussion about what this means, how these rules impact residents and business. But let's not be in a hurry to get to a decision. So I don't know how we do that. Let's say, is it a time-driven thing where we say we'll discuss it for 30 minutes, or how would you like the process to go?
Let me put in my 2 cents, Commissioner Chauhan. Since this was your motion, it's not brought about, the study brought about before us, and I will support your request to have more time to study off this table and come back, and in hope that next meeting that we have a more solid understanding of, as a maker of the motion, to what you think based on the information given to us, the changes and your recommendation, and as with everybody else, look into what was given to us. Now, we have this information before us, and I think what you have said, look into it. It takes more time to study it, and I think let's give ourselves a timeline that next month should be the time to make a recommendation and vote for it, and see where it goes. And I would just request that if we give us more time, that we should try to vote on this agenda next time, and not to extend it for indefinite amount of time.
Chair, if
Yeah.
I could say something, yeah.
Commissioner Javari?
my suggestion to you, Commissioner, is that rather than taking a break right now or coming the next meeting, now we are getting into the holiday season.
Yeah.
We have Diwali, we have Thanksgiving, we have Christmas, all of that, right? How about we postpone it so we all can review, study, and come back in the next year?
I'm fine with that. I am absolutely fine with that because that should, at least you have a beginning document to think, to make your notes, and then we can revisit it. I'm perfectly. There's no need. This has existed since 1973. Few more months is not going to change anything.
So if you can make a motion to
How about January? Would that
postpone it to sometime in the first week or first week of, I mean, the first
month.
meeting of 2026 or whatever.
Yes.
Okay, before we proceed, I would like to get some response if staff would like to chime in and see if we are moving in the right direction and take advantage of our lawyer who's on overtime right now and see if
Can we ask questions now?
after the staff. Yes, let's see if they.
Yeah, I'll answer a couple of questions from the commission. First, as it relates to Commissioner Chauhan's comment as the city's current regulations on signage and the updates of them. Again, I just want to reiterate that the master sign programs are more frequently assessed and they're more brought in for consideration for specific design standards for shopping centers, and so those are are adopted more recently and updated frequently. But tonight, yes, you can make a discussion if Commissioner Al would like. This item is on the agenda. You can have further discussion on this. You can, discuss at another meeting if you'd like. If there's no direction right now from the Planning Commission, I will note that for the next few Planning Commission meetings, as mentioned, there are holidays coming up, so there are a number of already projects that have been tentatively scheduled for those meetings. So they're a little bit more filled up for the next couple meetings for certain items that have been waiting to come before the commission.
Thank you, Mr. Commissioner. I have a list here of people who want to speak. Commissioner Al, Commissioner Chauhan. So I'll start with Commissioner Al.
Okay, at the last meeting, I was under the impression that the rules and the regulations for lighting and the signage were like very old, over 20 years or more old. But on page 2 of the agenda report, it says here that sign regulations contained within Chapter 2248 of the Cerritos Municipal Code have been established over the years with a recent amendment in 2021. Does that mean that those rules and regulations were updated just about 4 years ago? And by whom? Who's the authority that did that and who initiated it?
Yes. So, yes, you are correct. The last amendment made to the Chapter 22.48 of the Municipal Code was made back in 2021. There was a portion of it made. It wasn't a comprehensive update to the code, but a portion of it that was initiated, I believe, by the City Council at the time for consideration on revising to update on political signs.
So just for my understanding of our city government, which department or which part of our government has the authority to keep our municipal code and other laws updated and make changes if necessary? Is our planning commission part of that organization or no?
The Planning Commission, as mentioned, doesn't hold the authority to direct staff to prepare amendments. That responsibility is held to the City Council, so they solely have the authority to direct staff to make directions for amendments to the city's code. And so, but as you've seen tonight, there are when those amendments are made to the zoning ordinance or to other applicable chapters within the code that are applicable to the Planning Commission. They are brought forward to you for recommendation. But again, this Planning Commission doesn't have the authority at this time to direct staff to make amendments. But if considered by the commission, they can request for the council again, because the council is the only authority to allow for that request.
But 4 years ago, when was that the city council that updated the municipal code? How did it happen? Was a commission or committee that recommended the update, or how does this work? I mean, just for my information.
Absolutely. Thank you, Commissioner Au. I can go ahead and address 4 years ago as the amendments to the sign regulations under 2248 were under community development. So the amendments in 2021 were as a result of a study session of the City Council, as well as then subsequent direction of the City Council for staff to prepare a development code amendment for consideration by both the Planning Commission and then the City Council. And that is because it's an amendment to Chapter 22, Title 22 of the Municipal Code, which is the development code, the zoning code, land use, which is the authority of the Planning Commission and the City Council. For other sections of the municipal code that aren't specific to, in this case, sign regulations or development, the authority often just lies with the City Council. But in terms of who initiated in 2021, it was initiated by the City Council for staff to prepare a development code amendment, bring it before the Planning Commission and then the City Council.
Thank you.
Commissioner Chauhan?
Has the council, to your knowledge, requested that any of these ordinances be removed because they appear to be outdated?
So generally speaking, similar to item 6C this evening, there are several scenarios where the City Council assesses existing regulations and in partnership or coordination with the City Manager and the Department of Community Development make recommendations for revisions to the Cerritos Municipal Code. I will say separately, under the Department of Community Development, as I mentioned to Commissioner Au, Title 22 controls all development in the city. And so staff is continuously and constantly reviewing Title 22 of the Municipal Code for applicability, appropriateness, and compliance with state and federal law. Although, Ms. Acuna mentioned this today, although certain sections of Title or Chapter 2248, the sign regulations of the municipal code, have not been updated, we'll just say recently. As Ms. Acuna mentioned, the city, the Department of Community Development, uses master sign programs that are very carefully crafted with commercial property owners to allow for flexibility to the regulations of the municipal code. Essentially, those master sign programs establish specific regulations, specific development standards for the individual shopping center in alignment with the goals of the property owner and the property management for how they want their tenants to display their signs and still upholding the high quality development standards of the city. And so in establishing those master sign programs, it often is months of conversations with the property owners and property managers of what do you want for your property? What do you want? What do you want it to look like? How do you want your branding? And then counter, it's the city. Okay, we hear you. Let's see how we can get that to be the highest quality, right? Highest quality. And it's that back and forth. And we have those master sign programs with a large majority of our regional commercial shopping centers, our neighborhood commercial and community commercial shopping centers. There are rare occurrences where we don't have those master sign programs, and that is because the property owner or property manager has not requested any improvements to their existing signage, or they are okay with adhering to the regulations under Chapter 2248. So that's a really long way of saying that the municipal code regulations aren't the only document that governs business promotion, business signage in the city. That is through both master sign program, municipal code, and also precise plan projects. Larger commercial center remodels or industrial center remodels, when they come before the Planning Commission, there is also a discussion about the signs at that point. And so all of those efforts, the municipal code, master sign program, precise plan, allow the city to afford property owners and property management companies flexibility in working collaboratively to build what their shopping centers should be while still meeting the high quality standards that exist in Cerritos.
Well, I understand that. What trumps your master sign agreement or this document? If you had to go to court, what would they cite?
Excuse me, I'll defer to the city attorney, but in terms of what trumps in court, the city, when there is a master sign program, ensures that all sign permits submitted to the city comply with the master sign program established for that shopping center versus the Cerritos Municipal Code.
So again, I would like to defer this until a future meeting, because really I remain alarmed at the words, because any word that's written can be enforced. So therefore, we need to do right by our business and do right by our citizens, residents too.
All right. Like I mentioned, Commissioner Chang, I would support the delay in further study of this item. Just a reminder that whatever we recommend to the council, because this will go up. This is a recommendation we make to the council.
Absolutely. So
This involved staff time and a price tag attached to it, and the price here is from $5,000 to $100,000 is what is on the report. So when it goes up, we'll have a clearer price. If let's say it moves to the council, we have a clearer number rather than the range of 5,000 to 100,000.
The number as it relates to the
It's a professional service for
Professional
preparing
services.
the required analysis, anticipated to range from $5,000 to $100,000.
Yeah, that in itself is
the range.
it varies.
Okay.
There's no proposal right now. We would have to reach out to a consultant to with a scope but that all depends on what the scope is, and so it would be dependent on what the request is for any development code amendments.
Thank you, Ms. Cunha.
So Chair,
Now I would entertain a motion. Oh, go ahead.
I would like to request to postpone this item until January of 2026.
Is that a motion you make? Because we need to make a motion for that to happen. So for the
January
postpone.
20, yeah.
So we need so I would we would require to have a motion. So I'm not soliciting a motion at this time to whatever we want to postpone it and however. Go ahead, Commissioner.
Chair Reyes, I would respectfully request that this item be moved to January of 2026.
I second.
So we have a motion before us that has been moved by Commissioner Chauhan and seconded by Commissioner Javeri to move on the discussion of item number 7A to be discussed on the regular meeting of January 26, 2026 of the Planning Commission, City of Cerritos Planning Commission. Do I have any discussion questions?
Can we have a discussion
Sure,
before we
sure,
move?
yeah, of course. That's in order. Commissioner Ao.
Yeah, so in the conclusion section of the agenda report says that the Planning Commission's role is to serve as an advisory body to the City Council regarding long-range current planning and development projects and the implementation of the city's municipal code. Now, having said that, I suppose as individuals, as residents of the city, we have every right to raise issues regarding the quality or appropriateness of our municipal code and other documents. However, my question is whether or not it is the best use of our time and the time of all the staff members at Planning Commission meetings to discuss these issues, because there are other ways we can talk to our city council members about our concerns. We can go to city council meetings and voice our concerns during public comments session. And those are all possible alternatives. So just in general, I'm not sure it's a good use of our time to discuss these issues in these meetings, whether or not we discuss them today or we postpone it till January. It's still everybody's time. And so that's my question.
Thank you, Commissioner Ao. Commissioner Javari.
So, Commissioner Al, your point is well taken. However, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, that since we have this on the agenda, we cannot just say, let's not discuss this any further. If at all, whatever decisions we want to do, if we have to decide either ways, we will have to still defer it to another meeting or discuss it today. But again, we will be putting time, either today or maybe next meeting. Am I correct?
No, with all due respect, Mr. Javari, we are given two options. One is option one is to provide a specific scope of the whatever changes we want to make. And option two is to receive and file this report and take no further action. And that is the option that I would like to take tonight.
Hold on, guys, commissioners. I understand the discussion, but please let me recognize you before you speak. I don't want to just people talking, cross-talking, and let's keep this in order. I understand that we have a lot of things to say, but let's keep it in order. So, Mr. Javari, I think you would like to respond.
So I totally get it. There is an option. However, even if we have to go to option B, that would entail complete discussion. So we are putting in time today. Instead of postponing it to another day, we are going to be discussing this today. It's still time. So I'm open if we have to discuss this and then go with option B. I have no issues. But then again, then we cannot just say, just file, because then we'll have to discuss today. So its choice is ours, what we would like to do.
I would like to call the question, to call the vote. Do we have any more discussion on this matter before us? Because there's a motion on the floor, which was moved by Commissioner Chauhan and seconded by Commissioner Javari. So those in favor, Mr. Cunha, can you repeat the motion, please, before we vote?
Yes, of course. It was moved by Commissioner Chauhan and second by Vice Chair Javari to move this item of discussion to the January 2026 regular Planning Commission meeting date.
Okay. Although I would like to call on a vote, and please have that electronic voting. And
okay, so at this time, we'll activate the voting for the commission. So the motion passes at a vote of 4-1. So this item will be brought back to the commission at that time.
Thank you, staff, and thank you, Commissioner. So this item will be back on our agenda on the January 2026 regular City of Sirius Planning Commission. Next, report, item 8A, report from designated liaison. Do you have any?
Yes. Again, hi, good evening, Commission. As you may have been made aware tonight, I'm being put into the position for the role as the staff liaison to the Commission. And so tonight, it would be my first meeting tonight with this new role. And so moving forward, I just want to express, that I'm available for the Commission in support of these meetings. So if there's any items or assistance that you may need moving forward, I am made available to the Commission at this time. Thank you.
Commissioner Surtee, do you want to say? Okay. Congratulations, Ms. Clinton. The question is, do we refer any issues we have now to you as opposed to Ms. Aguilar? If I have questions about the meeting, the agenda,
Yes. So the role as staff liaison would be at tonight's meeting. So as before you tonight, reading the items before you and clarifying any motions. But of course, as still staff, as the current planning manager for the community development department, and made available for all the commissions if you do have any questions on any items that are agendized for you.
Thank you so much. Commissioner Javari.
Firstly, congratulations, Amanda. You did a great job on your first meeting. So we look forward to working with you. Secondly, I'd like to take this opportunity to invite everyone, all those present here and all those watching from home, to the 4th annual Diwali Fest. This is on Saturday, October 11. It's like a carnival, and this is going to be again at the Don Kanabi Regional Park. This is in collaboration with LA County Supervisor Janice Hahn. So it's going to be from 4 p.m. to 10 p.m. All are welcome. Going to be a lot of food, shopping, entertainment. So please do come and enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Javari. That segue us to item number 8B, which is reports from Commission. And let me start from Mr. Al.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Don't have anything to report, but I want to give my heartfelt congratulations to Ms. Acuna, and look forward to an excellent working relationship between you and our commission. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Commissioner Al. Next is Commissioner Surtee. Do you have any report?
Congratulations, Amanda, for your promotion. I was asked to announce Seraptimus International of Artesia Cerritos is having a program on Thursday at the Cerritos Library Skyline Room, and it's basically a hocus pocus, less focused type program. Okay, so it's kind of a little rhyme there. Okay, and basically it's they're having a guest speaker. Her name is Janice Kent, and she's basically talking about how to do things that are good for your home during Halloween. Safety standards.
Thank you, Mr. Commissioner Surtee. Commissioner Chauhan.
So let's see. I was able to go to Miramar to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the Marines, which is coming up in November. So UB40 have a wonderful CCPA. And here's a little bit of sad news. Corporal Eric Audrey Swint, Sr., a devoted husband, father, son, and brother, and a friend, was born on March 9th, 1967 in Dublin, Georgia, to the late Eugene Sinkfield and Ernestine Swint. He peacefully passed away on September 12th, 2025 in Beverly Hills, California. Eric was a proud graduate of Dublin High School, class of 1986. Following graduation, he enlisted in the United States Marine Corps, where he served his country with honor. He spent most of his 4 years at Camp Pendleton, California, and was honorably discharged on February 4th, 1991. After his service, Eric made California his permanent home. Eric was rooted in faith at the Driscoll Tabernacle Baptist Church in Dublin, Georgia, where he served as a youth usher. He was also a proud member of the Boy Scout. Later in life, Eric attended Second Baptist Church in Santa Ana, where he found joy in men's group at the weekly Bible study. In Reseda, California, Eric met the love of his life, Gail Bosfield. Their union began in January 19, 2001, blending their families together with their children, son Sherlock, daughter Sherelle, and son Eric Swint Jr. In April 2006, Eric began a distinguished career with the Orange County. His dedication and strong work ethic led him to multiple promotions, culminating in his role as a senior accounting officer with the audit and control claims. Eric was admired for his positive attitude, knowledge, and commitment to his team's success. He retired in March of 2025. Eric also dedicated many years to coaching basketball, football, and soccer for the city of Cerritos. His passion and commitment to the community left a lasting legacy, and the city did recognize him at least twice. Our hearts go out to the Bosfield Swint family.
Thank you for sharing that, Commissioner Chow. For my report, I just want to congratulate the City of Cerritos, the Senior Center. Last Saturday, they have a great shredding activity. I mean, if you had documents to be shredded, you can bring the maximum is 2 boxes, and they also were giving away compost. So I was a beneficiary of that. I brought a box, got it shredded. So, great, well run, great staff, a lot of volunteers. I mean, it took some volunteers to run that program. So to the volunteers, to the staff, and to the business part, I think Athens was the one running I saw the Athens truck there. So thank you and great job. And that's all I have. And I now declare the City of Cerritos Planning Commission regular meeting of Wednesday, October 1, 2025 to be adjourned.
Wait.
Oh.
You forgot about our vice president.
I think he did. He did.
Not during this session, though.
Yes. Anything, Mr. Javeri?
No, I'm good. Thank you so much.
Because I think he jumped.
Yeah, I jumped.
He during the staff reporting, that's why I segue into I'm sorry to think.
Sorry about that. I jumped. I didn't mean to.
So, but that was meeting adjourned.